Anyway.
What's happening? Chocolate Crown, kings and queens. Another Sunday coming to you live. Um, we want to kind of piggyback off of last week where we spotlighting guests and spotlighting our people. We had a very, very, very beautiful show last week. A lot of people interested. A lot of people enjoyed the conversation, so we were kind of excited about that. And this week, we got two people on the screen and hopefully maybe even a third. But we got two very, 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 very important people to not only Chocolate Crown, but to me personally. First, I will start with the Queen since it's National Women's Month and go with Miss Nicole Jackson Doss. How are you,
Doss?
Yeah, you got an accent.
Hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Nicole Dawson, the CEO and founder of the Prestige Society. We are a membership organization for women entrepreneurs of color who believe in building powerful networks while slaying in their industries. Our advocacy is about closing the earning gap among women of color entrepreneurs. We out here talking about side hustles. Cut it out. It's about building empires and building generational wealth. So that's my thing.
That's your thing. You just knocked it out the box. Like, I'm coming in the room, I'm kicking down the door. This is what it is.
It's our month, Mary.
Like, what you want to know, right?
It's our month, Mary. We're gonna go ahead and represent. Come on.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Hey, look, and the brothers, we gonna do like this. We're gonna guard the door. We're gonna guard the door. Make sure y'all safe.
Yes.
And we appreciate because that's what we need. That's right.
We gotta work hand in hand.
Listen, that's man, it's not just about we got to protect this thing in every way possible, man. So when we building these brands, building these empires, not only do we, have to know the ins and outs, but you got to have people there protecting these businesses that we are creating. So listen, you got my blood flowing. I got the chills. So I definitely appreciate you. I know Mary does as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I got a funny story too, Nicole.
Tell me.
So you and I initially met, and I'm not sure if you remember, but you used to come to my office and host like meetings, and you tried to help me understand Canva, and all I was trying to make was a bookmark, and you was like, I got you, Mary, I got you. I was like, it's not working, Nicole. I don't know what's happening. Me and Canva is not friends.
You know how I know that's true? Anybody who knows me knows I love Canva.
Absolutely, and that's what you said.
Oh my goodness. Hey girl.
Hey girl. Hey girl. I'm rocking it out now. I'm good. But that day at the conference table, I was like, we gonna have to have a one-on-one tutorial because this ain't the synapses ain't snapping. I'm not getting it.
Yes, and I love Canva. I use it for everything. We'll talk about that later.
That's exactly what you said that day a few years ago.
Yes.
So
Malika's in the building.
Malika!
Yes, hi, everybody.
Hey.
Appreciate you coming and joining us this beautiful Sunday evening. Listen, we were going to go next with Chaz, but it's Women's Month, man. Chaz gets bumped to the back, brother. So listen, Queen, we glad you're here. We appreciate you so very much. You don't understand how much we do, but we'll keep saying it all throughout the show. All three of you guys, we really, really appreciate you. And we would like to get you to just kind of introduce yourself and what it is that you have as a product or a service.
Okay, so my name is Malika. I'm a registered nurse, and my business is called Scrub Glam. I started it because of the lack of representation when it came to finding accessories and like scrubs that represent people of color. So that's basically a sum of my business. I just started my business in January, so I'm fairly new. And that's
Listen,
basically.
this is what this is
That's what
about.
we are. We're here to build a bridge. We're here to
Listen,
build a bridge.
the fact that you said you started it in January and then we know what happened shortly after that. Listen, that's
Right.
powerful, Queen. That's powerful,
Thank you.
and you and Nicole both building brands and focusing on Black women is out of this world. So we want to thank you, thank you very much. And we'll go into it a little bit further so you can maybe show some product and things like that, because hopefully there is some people out there that'll be like, oh yeah, Malika got the bomb product. So
Right.
hopefully during this show we'll get to dive a little deeper with you and your
Okay.
products. And then lastly,
But not
this is,
leastly,
but definitely not leastly,
even if that's even a word.
that's the word, we
Come
made it
on.
up.
I'm on the
We
call.
made it up. So this brother right here, he he means a lot to me, man. A lot to me. Like, I'm just proud of him. Very, very, very proud of him and where we come from. A lot of people don't get to become men and see the journey and live the whole journey. And I've known Chaz since we were young whippersnappers, young kids running around Pittsburgh and trying to play football and find our way. And I'm very, very excited to have him on the show, kind of deep dive with him and see how the company came about. So without further ado, Brother Chaz, can you introduce yourself and your company and that kind of thing?
Chaz Turner, born and raised in Pittsburgh. The name of the company is Be Great Apparel. This is a brand that's more than a brand. An apparel is it's a statement. It's something that I feel like with Black people, it's something that we have to do every day to survive. Like whether it's the block or the boardroom. You have to be great in order to survive. And it was just something that my parents used to tell me, is that you have to be great no matter what you do. So when I came up with my clothing line, which was about a little bit over less than a year ago, I wanted something inspirational. I wanted something that when you wear it, you feel better, so that's what I feel like we are as kings and queens, is that we just have to be great. We can't be average on any day that we want, so anything we do, we have to be exceptional at. And that's what I want this clothing brand to represent. That's the nuts and bolts. There's different layers with that, like different companies and avenues of which, and I'm trying to get in and branch in as well, not just the apparel. But overall, it was something to inspire my son, something to say that, a lane is now always going to be there for you. Sometimes you have to create your own. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, it's hard work and determination, but I wanted them to see me do this from the mud and represent it themselves, and be an inspiration to other kids. Like I used to coach my son, and all the way when he played football growing up, and then I remember just coaching the other kids and seeing the impact that had on young men, just seeing Black men do it. Because a lot of times we don't see it. You know what I mean? We're going by the seat of our pants, and there's a lot of queens that's having to make up for that. You know what I mean? And be something that they don't know how to be. So I wanted my clothing brand to reflect that inspiration. Be great, and no matter what you do, never settle. That's why the motto is, why settle when you can be great. So that's going to be coming soon with this different flagship that I did. But I appreciate the opportunity, king and queen. Much love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Listen, that when you saying we have to be great all the time, listen, that's powerful. When you got kids, and I have a 7-year-old who I tell him now, we could be doing math and there's 20 problems, and I'm like, son, listen, we can't be average. You got to get these done the fastest. You got to get these done, with no none of the none of them wrong. So it's it's a very powerful statement. Sorry about that. I'm trying to work on my volume a little bit.
Yeah, no worries. Can I just add to that? Why I also think it's really important. I don't know if any of you guys have seen, but one of the law professors at Georgetown has just gotten fired from a conversation she had on a video call. And in that video call, she was saying how she gets so much anxiety just from knowing that there's Black students in her class and that she feels like they just don't understand. She feels like their thoughts are all jumbled. She said that they're all like mostly at the bottom of her class. So to have someone who's supposed to be in a position to help you have already a bias about you before you even come in through the door, you cannot feel comfortable or rest comfortably in mediocrity. That is not okay. I had to show that video to my college freshman daughter because I had to tell her, you resting with these B's, you need to go ahead and strive for some of these A's because this is what some of these professors expect from you. So see it, because she doesn't believe it. She's like, no professor would ever think that. Okay, press play. Let's watch it. So I love that you have a brand that really pushes us and is a constant reminder that we must strive for excellence on an ongoing basis. So thank you so much for that, my brother, my king. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Like it's like one conversation at a time, and every conversation is an interview. So it's like you never know who's watching, but the fact that they are watching, and media never sleeps. So like you have to always be mindful that if somebody has gravitated to your platform, then they're going to seek, find, and dig to get to know you better. And how do you represent? And so therefore, like in the conversation of Chocolate Crown, it's like, okay, we are the foundation of our own community, and we need to know who's out there with the resources that's going to help build that bridge and build our community. So in whatever way we could just plug in, be like, okay, what you need? Okay, I'm gonna plug you in, because us fueling our own community fuels our economics and everything else, like just on a whole larger scale. But we got to start at the foundation and make sure that we're whole.
Amen.
Wait, he's on mute and don't know it. Let me get him off of mute.
I'm coming. But it's very powerful when it's yours, when it's ours, when you don't have to go punch a clock for somebody else, and we all have done it, and we all may still be doing it. But when you're able to create your own and be the shot caller and go through the mud and see the journey and feel the journey and then experience the wins, there's nothing like it. So I want to shout all of you out because you took a leap, and a lot of people will have great ideas but are scared to leap, scared to fly. So from afar, from the outside looking in, I've watched all of you, and I'm very proud to say I know you, Malika. I don't know you that well yet, but trust and believe we're gonna build a bridge.
Amen.
We're gonna build a few bridges so that you could walk across, I could walk across, Mary could come across, right. Nick, she could get there, Chaz, he could, like so. Yeah, like this is our little community, and I mean it started off with 8 months ago, and we may have had 5 people watching, and I'm happy to say 8 months later, there's a lot more than 5 people watching. So
God is good.
We trying to build a bridge, and show how long our arms are and embrace our people. So that's why this was about spotlighting you guys. Because there's a lot of things going on in the world. I mean, a lot of things going on in the world, and sometimes our own people are the hardest people to satisfy, to get on board. I mean, I'm thinking it's something silly as how many arguments there were when Coming to America just came out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like people had such high expectations because of the first one. It's like, well, the second one wasn't good. So we always our own worst critics instead of sitting back saying, listen, you know how hard it is to be. to be a black man and black people and have an all black cast and talking Africa and talking melanated talk and all of these kind of things, and it hits the movie screen, like that's not
Right.
an easy thing to do. And our people from home sit back afar and are armchair quarterbacks and could tell you everything about
without the
everything,
playbook.
Right.
but don't do
Okay.
nothing. They don't do
Right.
anything, but they
Right.
just gonna criticize us. So part of this was just about finding a safe space where there's going to be no real criticism. It's just building up. It's really, if there's a problem or something, there's always ways to talk about it and handle it and then move on and continue building. So this is what this is about, Chocolate Crown, trying to build some bridges and build each other up. That's all this is about.
Sounds
and also
good.
having the male and female or male and woman perspective,
Okay.
because you can't have one without the other. Like we need
Right.
each other, we got to build each other, and we need to learn how to grow together as man and woman, as opposed to
Right.
saying, I don't need no man, I got this, da, 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 or women, no, I'm just put them off to the side, they a commodity. We need each other. Like that's how it works together. And it's not to say one is behind the other, and one, like we're side by side working together and working it out.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of times, like with just as you guys know with our history, like it's always, like you said, it's pitting people against each other, whether it's men and women, young and old. Just our society, it just becomes crabs. So it's a blessing and a breath of fresh air to have a platform where it is inspirational. It is a link, because that's how we build our own community, and that's why we don't have to stop asking for equality. We can just make equality, because we gotta know that we are the table, we are the game, and we always help, instead of, like, it takes more energy to hate on somebody than it is to give them the knowledge that you got to wherever you want to be. Like, so if I see somebody doing it, before I would ever criticize what they're doing, I'm gonna pick their brain. Hey, let me get some knowledge, and hopefully they give me some, and I can sponge off of it and add it to what I may want to do. And that's what we need. So just to have this platform and to be on this platform, it's really a salute to you guys, like, for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, this ain't got nothing to do with us. It ain't got nothing to do with us, man. It's all about y'all, man. Listen, we ain't gotta come here talking about it's about Chocolate Crown. We give ourselves enough credit. So it's about it's about Nick, it's about Chaz, and what you guys are doing.
And Malika.
Yeah, I said Malika first.
I ain't hear it. I just don't want no tea and no shade in this family relationship.
No, ain't no.
Okay.
Man, listen, I give all the love.
Picnic. No, we're not doing that.
No, not the picnic. Not the picnic. We're not picking nobody's nigga. No, not the picnic. We at the cookout with the red cup.
Right. I wish I had one right here. Oh, I
do. No, she
My
do.
daughter.
Hey.
We at the
Represent
family.
But no, this is, like we said last week, there is definitely enough sunlight and shine for all of us.
Right.
There's definitely enough for us to help each other and build off the bricks that somebody has built before. Listen, Nick, I asked you on here because I know the work that you've put in over the years. And sometimes we don't do enough patting ourselves on the back. We just always constantly going and working and working. And Chaz and Malika, y'all gonna feel the same thing in another 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year. You know what I'm saying? So this is part of, getting ready for it. We're gonna speak all the good things into existence, so your company is sold out. It's on back order for months and months and months. Like, that's where we trying to get to. So Nick, I was just really kind of using you as an inspiration, because I want everybody to hear and see. I mean, because like I said, I watched you since you were 19, and you were on the sideline cheering, and I was playing ball, and we happened to be in a class together, and most of the time at the PWI, some of them classes, it would be just me and Nick, the only melanated people in this class, man.
Absolutely.
So
that's
just
why you should have went to HBCU.
You know what?
Right.
I literally just, I went to Willenboro High School. For anybody who's around the area knows that me. My mama said, you had your Black experience. Now here, go on to this mainstream school. But I
I get
literally
it.
said,
I get it.
right,
I
but
just had to throw it in. I'm sorry. I
I
represent
no, no,
well.
Yeah, we
no.
we
No, I
do
was saying,
college beef on here though. We college beef on here. We
but
definitely
no, no, no. I was
HBCUs
going
and
to say though,
PWIs.
Fletch. But let me tell you, I sat through. I did like a virtual HBCU college tour yesterday, and it was nothing less than amazing. I was like, man, I missed out. And could you imagine? I would have been on the Hamptons dance team instead of Rutgers dance
Listen,
team, where I'm loved by my sisters and not only picked out because I'm the only Black girl on the dance team.
Right.
I mean, there's just a different a level of just you just see like Black excellence all
and
dripping all
homecoming is
over you.
amazing. It's like the family reunion
Mm-mm.
every single
Our
Nope.
time.
homecomings was dry,
Young
dry,
brother
dry,
like
Yes.
Fletch
y'all.
at
See, here go one of my
17 years
LU
old.
buddies right here. Like, listen, gotta
Listen,
represent.
Mary,
But
a
like I tell
young
you, we went to
Fletch.
school during a time where our president said that African American students are genetically inferior to white students. And that is why we do worse on the SATs. They didn't talk about the biases, the cultural bias of the tests that were created. They made it seem like we were the problem. And you felt that in the classroom. So when Fletch mentioned sometimes we were the only melanated students in the classroom, that isn't something to gloss over. That was something that was really impactful. And I mean, I dropped a class specifically. A sociology professor stated that Black people die faster because we don't have health insurance. We commit suicide whenever we win the lottery because we aren't used to wealth or we haven't been exposed to wealth. And to hear that and to see everyone in the classroom turn and you're one out of 3 Black students and it's a lecture hall of like 100 people and they look at you like, you about to die? No, I have insurance. Like my parents work. Like it's just that it's a different it really forces you to rise above and let people know, like, and I always say it, like, I'm not going to make you feel comfortable in my mediocrity. I am going to use my excellence to give you absolute discomfort.
Yes,
And,
I
That's
don't
it.
and you know,
comfortable at all.
and I had the opposite experience. So whereas I'm from Chicago by way of the Maryland DC area, and Maryland DC just really put a whole different mix in it. But it was like, okay, I'm from Chicago. I didn't heard only 3 people in our history: Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, and why am I
Harriet
blanking?
Tubman.
No, Farrakhan,
Oh,
because I'm in
Farrakhan.
Chicago.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, okay, it has to be more people who have been phenomenal than that. Like, why are you limiting me just to those 3 things? So I was on the opposite. I went to 2 PWIs in my college tour, and they made me feel like I was the token. And because I felt like the token, I had already been that 12 years. I don't need more years of that. Now I'll get back to it, once you get into the professional world and have to code switch and deal with microaggressions and all of those shenanigans. But yeah, right. But it was like at that point, I was like, I'm investing in 4 years. I need to, understand my culture a little bit better from a different perspective. Now, by junior year, I had family, but I was ready to go. Like, okay, this is what y'all doing to get high. All right, I'm out. But everything that I do from this point forward, I'm always supporting our own businesses. Like, I do it so subconsciously. I don't even think about it. There might be some things that, friends might say, okay, well, you don't shop in the hood. I do for the things that I can value, but it's sometimes I just really need to leave the hood. But predominantly, I'm always supporting Black-owned businesses. Like, for most of my income goes right back to that.
And the good thing is you don't even have to go to the hood. You could go right online because a lot of our Black businesses have an e-commerce platform. So we can really support. And it's so funny because I don't know if many of you know of the Sisters in Business Expo, which was founded and created by Aisha Taylor Issa. But I actually moderate a room with her every Saturday called Support a Sister Saturdays on Clubhouse. And the whole purpose of that is for sisters to come into the room, pitch their business so that before we go out, it's Saturday morning. So before we go out and we start spending our hard-earned dollars with these big stores, we first support each other primarily. And so we ask you to come to the stage, pitch your business, but also if you have a question or you feel stuck we ask you to share because it's a panel of moderators that are able to help you wherever you are. And if we can't help you, we ask the room to please raise their hand and help because it's all about community. It's not about egos. And so it's a great place.
Can you repeat? You said Saturday Clubhouse. Can you?
It's on Clubhouse. It's called Support a Sister Saturday. And it's hosted by Aisha Taylor Issa. She's the founder of Sisters in Business Expo. But I love that what you said, Mary, because, you know, we have to look at how do we put these dollars back into the Black community and Black commerce. I'm going to tell you, Harvard Business Review has written an article about just really how much women entrepreneurs were not getting enough support and money. But here's the thing. When the conversation is just about women, it does not always include us. It's of the non-minority, okay? And that's why a lot of times when it comes to us, we are a very different segment on someone's research. It's a very different diagram or a very different, and so we're a very different data point. And I'm gonna spit out a stat real quick that will show you this. So when they start talking about women, how much women entrepreneurs make, they realize that that number is not a true number to what represents what Black African American women make. So they break that number down for non-minority, African Americans, and even Latinas. So I'm gonna tell you, in 2019, I'm hoping 2020 was different for us because of the fact that the pandemic actually did a great thing for women who had e-commerce platforms, but I can't wait to see what the numbers are. But in 2019, which means we saw this in 2020, they were saying that Black women make on average $21,000 per year per business. Let me tell you about that number. That means you can get food stamps, you can get assistance. If we start businesses so that we can create generational wealth, so that we can break through glass ceilings that we're not able to do in corporate America, that means, y'all, we're not doing it with our businesses. And we are being duped into seeing some of these social media personalities and believing that their highlight reel is real life for every Black woman entrepreneur. And it's not, because it is the statistics that is showing us differently. So that means that for every Black woman who is making over $21,000 per year per business, there's a lot more who are making under, which is why that 21,000 is the average. But in comparison, our non-minority sisters, honey, they out here winning. They making on average $218,000 per year per firm. 21,000 us. 218,000 them. And that means that even if we saw an increase in sales and revenue because of the pandemic in 2020, that means so did they. Because exactly. Guess what? The year before, we were like 21.8. Like we had a little point to us, but they were at 213. So like when they come up, they come up. But afterwards, we went down. So we went from 21 point something to just 21. So I think it's really important for us, because in the Harvard Business Review, they were saying that the only way we fix this is if we invest in one another, meaning women. So we have to take that one step further. That doesn't solve the problem for Black women. That solves the problem for mainstream or non-minority women. So the way that we have to support each other is get past our biases, get past this thing of, well, it's not going to be of quality. We have to get past all of that. We have to challenge business owners to step up their game, not think of it as a side hustle, look at it as an actual business, give them the resources, the education, and the network so that they can build, and we invest in them and we buy from them. And that's the only way we can do it. But it's absolutely imperative. And it's platforms like these that are absolutely important so that it can raise the awareness of how the consumer has such power into lifting us up. Because we'll make Nike rich in a heartbeat. I don't care if you don't have no money. You're going to have some sneakers that look like
whatever they say,
$200 easy, but don't go eat a hot bologna sandwich and some Kool-Aid.
I say you got $200 shoes on, you better be an athlete. You can't be a nerd. You can't be a nerd with $200 sneakers on. You get Skechers.
Yes,
I respect the brain. I respect the brain, but 200. Nah, I scored a lot of points in Bobos, man. You can score
Right.
in Bobos, man.
Right. And you
But
know
I
what
think,
comes with that
I'm
too
sorry,
is
Mary.
like there's that historical thing that in 1978 melanated people made 58 cents on the dollar.
Mm,
1978.
where we
In
at today?
2020, it's the same
58.
amount.
Same
You know what?
amount.
I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like stats like that, we could easily get stuck in our brain and say, oh, well, then what's the use? We don't need to do this, da, 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 allowing them to win. Or we can allow it to motivate us and take what you just shared, that if they're eating, we can eat too. And we need to really just change our blueprint of our perspective and stop having what our passion points are, which is usually our business, be a hobby. Like
Right. Oh, come on,
get your
Mary.
systems together and like let's make it happen because the resources are there. Like you second guessing yourself and still colonizing, stop colonizing and make sure that you work for the platform that's going to serve you better in your whole total self.
Well,
Right. And it's not about,
that's why hopefully they're coming here. That's
right.
why hopefully they're listening to Mary every Sunday. That's why hopefully they heard Doc Kathleen Walls last week. Hopefully they're listening to Nicole Jackson because now you have a resource. You have somebody. I don't care if it's a DM.
Mm-hmm.
Queen, I need some help with this.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get the prideful stuff out of the way. If you don't know, you don't know, but you might have a great idea. So you
Right.
need to
Right.
find somebody that can help you take the steps with your great idea and don't let it just die as another idea that 10 years from now you see somebody else making millions of dollars with.
Or you'd be
Right. And
like,
I would
"Woe
say,
is me. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time." But you make time for what's important. And I know that's
right.
like kind of cliche, but if you
That
really
is
look
true.
at how it is that you do your time throughout the day, throughout the week, you need to schedule yourself or schedule your time to focus on your business or whatever it is that thrives you the most and building passion so that you can make that happen. Because a
Right.
little bit a day is going to help you get to where it is that you're working. You could be doing 3 days, 12-hour shifts. But when you get up on that fourth day, you know that you're going to be dedicated to you and you're going
Right.
to go in hard. Whatever time you got, you just got to make it real.
Right.
So,
And I'll say
uh,
too, like, don't get so caught up too in the us and them. I think
Yes.
that becomes such an easy crutch. It becomes this really easy justification of why you're not successful. So you'll say, well, it's the system, it's the bias, it's the listen that existed before we even were
yes, it's
brought
gonna
here.
always be
We've
there.
been
It
raised
will.
into it.
That's right. And if we take away racism, it would just be classism, socialism. It'll be something. It's human nature to be able to put one person above another to make somebody feel better about themselves. It still happens. Because I had my niece tell me, I remember she told me years ago, well, Auntie Nikki, you're this because you grew up in the suburbs, but I grew up in the hood. So this is why I had this outcome. So when I had to give her a list of all my friends that I went to college with who were first generation college graduates who grew up from the hood, who now have this kind of lifestyle, it's like that can't be the excuse. And the same thing goes for race. So even though those stats are there, why don't you also link up with somebody that is not of your same ethnicity to even understand? Somebody said earlier, like, just understand, how do you even think differently? The women's conference, the last one they had in person before the pandemic, the women
Right.
from the skin literally is like this newsletter that you get in 2 swipes. You're supposed to get all the things that go on in the world. So they're on this huge stage and they told their story about how they got started. They had an idea that they wanted to give the news to millennials to be able to get news in 2 swipes. And the first thing they did was go see an investor. I was like, wait, I'm sorry. You wanted to start a newsletter, so the first thing you did was see an investor. Because let me tell you, if I'm starting a newsletter, Mary, I'm going to go home and go to MailChimp. And I'm going to start my newsletter.
Exactly.
And then
Start
I'm going to be
typing.
like, right, and start typing. So their whole exposure to how to set up systems so quickly and how to get the funding behind it is completely different than we've been exposed to. So it's like really even having a seat at the table to understand how other ethnicities get information. I'll even talk about Asians. You know how they come into buying collaborations or co-ops together and buy up product together, even if they are competing entities. So it could be this store, that restaurant, but they know that if they buy everything in bulk together, it's less money. But we're so crabs in a barrel that we're not going to go in to buy with you because you are someone that's my competitor. So I can't do that with you. And that's the thing we have to stop. So it's not us against them. It's
Right.
really about how do we support and invest in
Each
each
other.
other.
In each
And we
other.
have to do away with the biases that we have within our
Within
own
our own
community.
culture. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
But
And
Right.
we need to
you
get
know
rid of
what?
that in order for us to yeah.
Part of that is the person, the biases in our own culture come from that mirror. They don't like the person that they see in the mirror. So
Right.
Mhm.
when Nicole and Chaz and Malika go on and do great things and start to build, you know you're gonna have people. Why them? Why them? How they get there? And pulling at you and tugging at you and tugging at you.
Mhm.
So we got to understand. I mean, I'll keep saying it, but that's why this platform was, was kind of created, so we could create our own monster. So we
Right.
don't have to go. Listen, I've done business with Asian people, and they would tell you, we don't want your money.
Mhm.
We don't want your money. I'll go
Mm.
find an Asian person that'll do the same thing.
Wow.
And that's where we need to get to. We need to start looking out for each other and spending money with each other. I mean, we already
Right.
know. We probably went in a few stores today and gave our money to somebody that didn't look like us.
Right.
Right.
We
I
got to
sure
make
did.
it
I
a
had some sushi.
conscious, you know what I'm saying? Conscious.
It was good too,
I
wasn't it?
did. It was so good.
We got to make now, but listen, if our people ain't on point with it,
Right.
Hey.
I'm going to find
Right.
somebody who on point with it.
But you
Right.
know, before you go
Yeah.
find somebody, it's also one of the things that I have found probably in the last 4 to 5 years that I've done is, can the manager come out?
Hmm.
Manager, as a black owned business to black owned business, can I share and are you open to receiving what my feedback is to you? Because if you don't tell them, who will? And then when they end up closed, you're gonna be like, okay, why are they closed? So you can ask the manager, just can we have a conversation, business owner to business owner? And most of the time I've had much success. I remember one time going out with a girlfriend. She was like, well, why did you just like pull her to the side to tell her? Because she's my sister. And my
Right.
sister needs to know how she's representing because her brand is a little bit off. And I'm not going to penalize her, but I want to
Right.
educate her so that if she listens or she does, if chooses not to listen, she'll at least have something in her toolkit that's going to help her manage it differently. And I think
Right.
that's what we got to do too before we be like, deuces, I'm out. And I'm gonna go blast it on, because Google's already gonna track you and be like, well, how do you
Right.
like this restaurant or how do you like this store?
Right.
Before you go blast and have that one-on-one conversation, because we can't build each other up if we don't have that conversation.
It's a
I mean, well,
must.
communication is the key.
It's a
It's
must.
like that's with even with going through this process and starting my journey with the clothing. It was like I know my people. So I know if I go to you with a hoodie and I'm like, all right, it's gonna be critiqued differently. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's gonna be like, oh, look at this, or is it like that? So I wanted to make sure that it was quality, and everything was up. Like my vendors was on point. And actually, I want to give a shout out while I have the opportunity. Fletch to E to Eric Walker. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he just commented too. Well, shout out to E.
You know what I mean? So you know when I decided to do the hoodie thing, and it's kind of funny. Nicole said something about Nike. Like I was looking in my closet, and I had like 8, 9 different Nike hoodies, and I was like, I'm walking around like a billboard, right? I
Right.
ain't getting
Hmm.
paid for nothing. I'm like, but Fubu's out of business.
Phil
Right.
Okay,
Knight don't need no more money.
right? So I'm like, I wanted to come out with just something I can wear, and I was like, all right, well, let me do it. So it was like to help us even have that. Like I had to figure out, like, what did I want my brand to be about? You know what I mean? And how I want us to represent, because I know my peoples is coming with the BS. You know what I mean? But I welcome it. You know what I mean? Because and then me reaching out to E, he was like, I didn't want to step on his toes. You know,
Right.
like try to seem like I was doing the same thing he was doing. I mean, because that's a guy I grew up with. I respect. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know, he gave me the blessing, and also not even the blessing, but the direction where to go, even advice. So I had to
That
think
is
him.
so key too. You just said he
Oh
actually
my
gave you the advice, because sometimes people feel like we got to be the keepers of the information
God.
and you got to go
Right.
do the research and find it on your own. If we're a village, no, I already
Come
got the
on,
research
Right.
here,
Mary,
bro.
you better say it.
He's a special brother, and he comes from special people.
Special
So
stock.
he's definitely come from good stock, man. This
He like
Eric's
he like
father was.
literally. I mean, it was so real that it was such a here, you know, oh, go do
Right.
this. And
Right.
it wasn't, and he could have easily took the approach like, why are you coming in my lane? You know what I mean? And it
Right.
was like, number one, I'm not. I promise you that. You know what I mean? Number two, like it was just pivotal that he gave me that step. I owe that brother that. I would shout his brand out to the end of the earth.
But
You know what I mean?
listen, like I said, brother, and I'll keep saying this: there's enough light for
Yeah,
For all
everybody.
of us, right.
There's
that's
enough
right.
shine for
Facts.
everybody, man. Think of
Yep,
everybody got Nike. Why can't
that's
they
right.
have Be Great, Height Apparel, Malika's earrings, necklaces, and that? Like everybody.
Hey,
And then Nick showing everybody how to connect the dot. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Right.
But you know what? I love that you said that. So let me tell you, I have a line of planners called the Boss Life Planners. So we created like 5 different planners. They're not dated because you can buy them anytime. They just have different focuses for the person who's trying to build their business and juggle all things life, right? I
Yes.
literally taught a class in December teaching women how to build, create in Canva, Mary, find a
I saw it. I
publisher,
saw it.
market and sell your own planner. So that way, I don't have to be the only person out here making a planner. If it's something I know how to do, why can't I teach you? And why can't I teach you trusting that what is for me and what is for you is for you? So I think that is really important when and special and something that people should really cherish when there's individuals who are not thinking that they're gatekeepers of their talents or their gifts and that they're actually teaching others. It's not called tribal knowledge for nothing, right?
Right.
Like
Right.
it's called tribal knowledge because, like you said, Mary, it's our village. So we're supposed to pass this information on. So I love that you have someone in your corner, Chaz, that you can even talk to and that you would be able to say, hey, and that's why we created the Prestige Society, because we learn from each other. We learn from our village. We learn from our tribe. I actually wrote a book called Tribe because I feel so serious about helping each other grow. So I love it. That
hey
just tugged
Nicole,
at my whole
a quick
heartstring.
question, Nicole. I have for
Okay.
you.
Yes.
Um, I hear you dropping knowledge on the sisters, and I salute you for
Oh,
it. Is any of that knowledge for the brothers? Is it that?
it sounds
Is it
like
just
all
for the
my
No,
sisters?
husband.
no. I asked the same question, Chaz. I'm ready. I'm
We
ready
need
for this
knowledge too,
answer.
B. Like
I'm waiting for this.
I'm
I
super
am waiting.
stupid. Like
Y'all ever
help
want to
me
come?
out.
Y'all should come to some of the cookouts we have when my husband has
Hey,
all his friends over, and they're like, "So I'm
Nicole,
saying,"
they
because my
really
husband's
coming
an
for you. They
entrepreneur.
in the comments and in the on the
I
panel.
know.
All
Like
the
what?
brothers, I know she goes through this, Mary,
Oh, I
because
do
I've
too.
been hounding
Like
her.
I'm saying,
Listen, Mary, I popped up on calls and stuff where Nick is teaching, and I'm the only man. I'm like, am I supposed to be in here?
It's okay. I invite my brothers. So listen. So here's the thing, my wonderful brothers, because I get this all the time, especially from my husband's friends, because they are all entrepreneurs, and my husband's a full-time entrepreneur as well.
Right.
Um, so Prestige Society is a safe haven for the woman entrepreneur of color. I always invite my brothers to create an auxiliary group to us
that's what I'm
because,
saying. You give me the
like you
blueprint, right?
said, right, like, and we were like so close. We were like, this close to getting a group together. And I really wanted it to be their own. I didn't even want it to have the Prestige brand because then that means it still belongs to me. I wanted to have an auxiliary group where the men can grow their own branding, their own protocol, their own bylaws. You know, we got a lot of layers at Prestige. I got an executive team. I got another leadership team. We got all kinds of
Booming. She's booming.
We got a lot going on.
We're going to give you 5 seconds, man. Because I remember, Nick. I remember when it jumped off, man. We didn't have executive teams and stuff like that, man. You were grinding, man.
Yes.
Grind.
So,
understand this.
A lot. Yeah,
yes,
but I tried. I had 3 fellas who came together who wanted to do this. We had a couple of meetings where I just kind of was there to guide them and just kind of tell them like what I started to get things going. But the men have a hard time coming together.
The egos get in the way.
Alpha male syndrome. So I don't know, y'all.
Hey, Nicole, that was the nicest way of saying I got you, but absolutely not.
But she got experience though, Chaz, in saying, okay, like the men just can't get it together. Like I know of an organization, I'm not gonna call them out, but like they had to have a whole, for lack of a better word, and not to really put somebody who maybe find us on now or the replay, you know, they had to have a whole come to Jesus type intervention meeting because the alpha personalities was clashing and getting in the way. No, I want it this way. If it ain't this way, then I'm gonna just go do my own thing. Or what?
So Mary, let me tell you this. As a man, I understand the power of a woman, right? So even when we create our group as a man, we still need the feminine aspect to outline what we have to do.
So we are here to be your auxiliary sisters so we can help y'all. Absolutely. I'm like, yeah, go ahead, Fletch, start it off. What y'all doing? You and Chaz, y'all the founding members.
Hey, Fletch, it's gonna be me and you in the class, boy, and I'm cool with it.
Nah, but listen, we can actually get some men. I wish Nick would have reached out to me before, because I do have the gift of gab with my brothers, and a lot of my brothers actually really like me, Nick. So they might take a leap and say, I want to go ahead and do this, man.
Nicole, I'm gonna need your help. Nicole.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. What you need?
I planted the seed for Mr. Infinite Mind and Body.
Yes.
Describe the whole platform for Mr. Infinite Mind and Body. Was like, this is the time to do it. Men need the space. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. Months go by, weeks go.
But part of it is I was being.
He wanted to be perfect.
That's my problem, but I was being pulled in a bunch of different ways. I understand that, and if I can't listen, I know my.
That's why you build a team,
folks, Nick. I know my faults and my flaws and my shortcomings. Right?
Okay.
I have great ideas, but I need a personal writer with me all the time. Somebody who's going.
Yeah, that's how you need a team, right?
That's why
I can't call Chaz.
Yes, you can.
Chaz ain't right. I was in class with
Chaz. In the elevator. He can make the work.
In class with me.
I can drop jewels in that elevator. That's what I do.
Hello. Listen, if I could just for like a quick 3 minutes kind of just run through, because I know we didn't get a chance to talk about our businesses, so maybe this is a great quick segue.
No, yeah, we going to.
Okay.
We going to, but this is how we do. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No. Then I'm gonna sit back and just enjoy the ride. So yes, when you have
your alpha woman personality was coming in, you was like, I need to take the
on the bus and grab the wheel and say, I want to drive now. Let's go.
Okay. So in 2012, I sent an email out or a text message to a group of women in my life who I felt were just go-getters. I kind of just felt like at the time we needed something extra in our lives. We were like either just getting into management in our 9-to-5s, we were climbing the corporate ladder, but we just were missing something. And I started even having like girls' nights at my house where I would invite people. So I don't know if you've heard of Tiffany the Budgetnista, but Tiffany actually, Fletch, you better say yes, I've heard of Tiffany the Budgetnista, because first of all, she's big news. 1, 2, she's RU alum. So let's go. Okay. Okay. I just had to remind you, she was over
If
in
you came
Douglas
out of
over there.
RU, I don't care if it was 1940. I know you.
Right. Well, the cool thing is I would invite her, Michelle Pyram, also had her coaching business, to my house to just give women more information about how do you grow and just be better. And that was like my thing. So then a little bit afterwards, I just started sending out text messages saying, listen, I want to have this group because I felt like women were starting businesses with friends because they were afraid to be entrepreneurs and they were making the wrong decisions. So I said, listen, I want to have this group of women where every third Saturday of the month, you come to my house, business attire, and I'll give you some kind of, presentation on how to build your business. You'll get an accountability sister every month, and there'll be some kind of goal that you have to be working towards and building your brand. If you come in now, you'll be considered a founding member, and that's all I really knew. I didn't really know anything. The one thing I do know is that one year should never look like the previous year.
Right.
If anything looks the same for me, that means I am stagnant in my progress. So we went from being in my home to having a meeting space outside of my home and opening up to members. We started opening up to women who were coming from North Jersey. And then at some point we were on Instagram. So people were like in Atlanta asking us, like, when can we join? How do we do this? And it's so funny because today, or at that time, I didn't know how to transition to virtual space. But today that's like just how we operate. But I just did not know how to build a virtual community. So with Greg Haygood, who was a photographer, and his wife, who gave us the space to meet in Morristown, we built and we grew. So then, of course, we started building up chapters. So we had chapters in Detroit, Northern New Jersey, and New York, as well as South Jersey and Philadelphia. To respond to COVID, we decided that having these chapters are no longer behooving us because we're just not meeting. But what we're doing instead is we have focus areas. So where I have now a president and a vice president that's over growth and recruiting to make sure that our network continues to grow and that we have financial vitality there, as well as making sure that we have a focus group around retention and engagement, because it means nothing if I get you, I can't keep you. And then we have social responsibility and community service, because it's not just about us being ambitious women, but it's about how do we pay it forward and give back to our communities. In that, it's all about closing this financial gap or earning gap. So with that, we have masterminds, we have book clubs. Books aren't just about feel-good books. They're about books that we can take the knowledge and apply it to our businesses. In 2020, we launched the Boss Academy, where we were able to actually invest seed investments into women who pitch their businesses after completing a 12-week cohort program. And it's been great. My executive directors are awesome. So we have our executive director over operations, where she makes sure that I am following processes that are going to allow us to be financially viable. I have a executive director over learning and member success. So it's the only male in the Prestige Society. So, we got a male.
One.
Right, Dr. George Weston Banks. And
You got,
so,
and he's a doctor. Well,
and
you
he's a
can't
doctor.
be a brother in this prestige society and not have credentials, man.
Right,
You gotta get some
right.
letters. Hey, Chad,
So
we need some letters,
we
man.
need some
That's what we
letters
need.
behind it.
DR.
Right. And but he's someone that worked with me in the past, and so what he were really very adamant and just passionate about continuing learning. And so instructional design, how do we create learning experiences? And it's so funny because people be like, "Oh, what about your events?" And I'm like, I'm not here for the shimmer and the glitter and the glam. I'm here for you getting information that you can apply to your business that's going to allow you to apply those things and be financially thriving. Because after you leave my event and you feel great, then what?
You got to
You
put it into
gave me
practice.
money. You paid me the money, but then what? So that to me is really important. And then the last piece is our director of business relationship management. So that's for all of our like corporate partnerships that we have. And now that we have to actually create a 501c3 because we want to give more money. So in order for us to give more money, we need corporate partnership. And in order for corporations to say, yes, Nicole, I'd like to give you some money, they need to have a tax break. So without that 501c3, they don't get tax breaks. So we'll be doing that third quarter. So super excited, super happy to help. And I just love that we are just myth busters out here, because a lot of people think that Black women or women in general cannot work together, but we don't even call each other networking group or members. We actually call each other sisters. When we greet each other, we say, hello, my beautiful sisters. Hello, my prestige sisters, because that's a bond that cannot be broken. It means that that's someone you can call on in a time of need. When my sisters needed prayer, I would give, look, Michelle's the minister. Michelle, I need you to go ahead and get on this line because somebody needs some prayer, and I'll be on the line with you. When all the things began to happen during the pandemic with George Floyd, honey, I had at the time the president, vice president of the North chapter calling me saying, what are we going to do? So, having these kind of women leaders who are all in a position to help and want to help each other, I think is phenomenal.
Yes.
And it's them, it's not me.
Two things, Nick.
Yes.
What you said was very powerful. Sometimes we got to stop with the BS, stop the playing. Like, if it's a serious meeting, let's be serious about our business, man. We don't need the electric slide to get you there. We don't got to, you know what I'm saying? We don't got, Mary, come on, man.
Dinners.
Yeah, we don't gotta offer you chicken dinners and all that. Man, just come out and learn something. Like, come out and learn something about your business. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's like, I was going to say something else, but that's like huge, because I was thinking about when you were just talking about the men, and sometimes to get the men to come out, you got to dangle trinkets, and it shouldn't.
Women too. I mean, I hate to say it.
That goes both sides.
I don't have like bling bling, and if anybody who knows me closely, I hate events. But like when we did the Black Tie Gala for the Phenomenal Woman event, that was 2017. I don't want to do another Black Tie Gala in my life. And everyone's like, when are you having another event? We were trying to figure out why we weren't getting a lot of turnout in Detroit, because Detroit has an awesome boom of women entrepreneurs.
Oh, they want to party.
But they want to party. They want to sip champagne. They want to have a great time.
That's Detroit, yeah.
Like, that's not what's going to get your business where it needs to be. So the good thing is, for those sisters who are creating those platforms, to have those events, we're a great partnership, because I'm the person then that you have come to your event to speak while you throw the event. So I'm not throwing shade on anybody who does those kind of events. It's just that if you're coming to the Prestige Society, you're really coming because you want to learn.
Yeah, and listen, to piggyback off what you said, how you use sisters is kind of how we use kings and queens. We're trying to change up the way we using all these derogatory terms that are continuously being used by our young people. So if they see people who look like them using sisters, using kings and queens, and you my prestigious sister, and like just that little tidbit can, I mean, it can take you so far, man. It builds something in you. When somebody calling you a king and a queen, and you my sister, you got to react differently.
Yeah.
You ain't
accountability is different.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't no N-word. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I come at you like you my king or you my queen. Yeah.
My husband said, when y'all females, sir.
So that's very powerful. That's something, and that's small. We don't understand the power of words, man. That's very small. And if you keep beating that into young African American, young melanated sisters' heads, you calling each other kings and queens, and you calling your best friend's sister, like that's some pretty powerful stuff. So I just want to salute you again and say that all the work that you've done. I mean, we kind of bunched in our little hour time, but I'm very proud of you, Nick. I've watched it. I've watched it grow. I've watched you grow. I watched that baby girl who is now in college grow. Holy,
I was pregnant, y'all. My senior year.
She was pregnant in that math class we was talking about. She was being grown in college, man. Now listen, she's a
Stressed out. She said, "Girl, you better graduate." I am,
she's a
and then got my master's.
yes,
Okay.
and then
Listen,
got
right.
I know
What
that's
you got to
right.
say? What you got to
yeah.
say, right?
I know,
Go
like
back to my goal once I get this one out of school. So
yeah,
yes, don't
very,
be
very,
offended.
very powerful that I've seen the growth. And I'm just ecstatic, man. So we
Thank
want to
you.
thank you again. Please put up Nicole's stuff again, so everybody across the land can see it. So if you getting hit up on your on your emails and in your DMs and all that kind of stuff, blame me,
Absolutely.
blame
No worries.
Fletch.
I'm
But
always here to help.
we all need to go get those boss life planners like ASAP. Chaz, you gotta
I'm on
get
it,
you
bro.
one. Yeah,
I'm
put it
on
up in
it.
the screen, Nick. Please put it up again.
Yeah, I'm on that.
Yes.
BossLifePlanners.com. You gotta
Yes.
go get it. If you're starting a business, Malika, we gotta get you to get the Boss Life Planner when you
I'm
come
on
back
that.
on the screen. Um,
Well, and I'm about me some Be Great
She might
Girls.
still be there, you know.
yes,
We
and
got
we're
her
I
going.
got
baby
And
you. I
start.
got you.
listen,
Real quick,
She's
Fletch, I want to tell you that,
yes,
like
I'm about to
the
pass it off
website.
to you. I ain't cutting you off.
I got you,
I
bro. The
I ain't cut.
website's coming soon. It's
Uh
going to
huh.
be Show Your Greatness, and that's Show Your and Greatness spelled GR8NESS
I'm
dot
about to
com. You got
boombox
your
you. I'm about to boombox you.
got
Because
you.
in the studio, I said, "Do you need anything else on this tag?"
Listen, you know what's the problem? I panic. I'm gonna be honest with you, sister. Like, if I'd have had my planner, I would already had that in my
I'm
mo.
back.
So,
That's
that's why we
right.
need y'all. But
It's not.
Uh-huh.
It's not his
Uh-huh.
fault. It's not his fault because I could have put him. I could have put him at the end, but there's a reason why I put him in front of Mary and Nicole. There's a reason why because I know that's my brother, and I want to
Mhm.
see him succeed.
yes,
And I'm
Okay.
sharing it with love. It's all
Yeah,
love, Chance.
I
yes,
know, and
Good.
I
yes.
She
respect you
done
two
told y'all
women.
she gave the feedback to the young lady who needed feedback. So
At the
Chaz, you gonna get
restaurant after I enjoyed
that's
my
right.
food.
That's right. So you gonna get
Yes.
this here feedback. See, that's why we can't be in the room with y'all. The Bible said we can't teach y'all men. We gotta teach amongst the women.
Mm-mm.
They
You
need a
right.
different type of
You right.
conversation,
You
so that
right.
can't always happen together.
You
Mm-mm.
right. You right.
Nah, but go ahead and shout it out again for us, brother Chaz.
It's gonna be it's up and running right now, but it's like still in the process. But it's show, and that's your like show SHOW your greatness spelled with an 8 instead of an EAT. And it'll be you can buy the apparel, hoodies. There's gonna be t-shirts. I'm gonna do some leggings for the ladies so I can say be great, boo boo. Have you out there
Hey,
killing it? I just want my peoples and to inspire each other. And Nicole and Malika, you both have inspired me. And in lieu of Women's
Thank
Month,
you.
I
thank
salute
you.
you, Mary, as well. I salute all my
Yes.
queens, Fletch, my king. Um, I give you all a standing ovation for real.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
man.
you. Thank
I'm
Miss
with you
you.
on it.
Malika, you trying to
Yes.
we got you kind of quiet today, but we gonna make you open up, sister. We gonna make you
I
open up, queen.
know.
No, but listen, I don't
She
know if
not
you have
quiet.
I don't know if you
I'm
have
not
any of
quiet.
your I don't know if
I
you have
actually do.
any
I was trying to figure out how to reverse the camera around so I could actually show my stuff.
well if you can't reverse it, just stick it up in the
Okay.
screen. We're gonna
All
go ahead
right.
and
Yeah, let's
support
see
you.
some. Let's see some.
All
And,
right. Let me
and
bring up my screen.
do you have
So
a
these are handcrafted by me.
handcrafted?
Well, you can
Ah,
say
So
what they
this one
are
says
too.
Oh
Oh
these
yeah.
are
yeah.
badge rails. So
Yes,
like when you work
sir.
in a hospital or like a corporate setting, like it has the
Mm-hmm.
pen on the back. This one says BSN for Bachelor's of Nursing. I
Okay.
have a couple.
Okay.
This one is a pen, so if you could
oh,
see it.
that's
Oh
beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, that's
And we
nice.
keeping
Yeah,
it
not
all the way melanated.
yes,
Yes,
all the way
yes.
Yes.
That's the
melanated.
only way she
So I
rocks.
got this one. It's
What's
like
Oh
that
yeah.
say?
a bun lady.
Oh, that's cute.
Hold on, Malika.
Yeah.
Where's the email? Where's the
Okay, my website is called scrubglam at godaddy.com.
Oh goodness.
scrubglam at
I'm gonna fight all of these people.
godaddy.com. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're
Okay, what is
melanated
it again? I'm
sister,
sorry. The website.
Scrubglam. Yep, scrubglam at
Uh,
godaddy.com. I can actually send you the link. And then I have this one.
We need the people to see it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we about to type that up there. Don't worry about that.
I can actually
Hold
into
on.
it
Bring
right
that
now.
last one back up there. I like that one.
Which one? This one?
Nah,
No,
it was like a
the
yellowish
yellow.
one.
Yellow?
Yeah,
It's
that
in
one.
your hand
About
now.
this
Yes.
one.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Thank you. This one is a pen. But I make them, like, you don't have to be in the medical field if you want a pen or a badge. Well, I make them for anybody, but it represents people of color.
Love it.
And then I have a small pen that you can clip onto, like, your jacket or book bag or, like, your badge. It says drip and melanin.
You know what I was thinking about, Malika, when I was reading up on you and I was looking at all of your products. I was just thinking about you being in the school setting around young ladies, teaching young ladies this and teaching them how to really start their own.
Right.
That's actually one of my goals.
Miss Forever, Miss Payne.
Hold on, you said it, you put it out there.
Yes, it's the goal. It's on record. It's on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Like it's you gotta claim it. So when you gonna put it in your boss life planner? When's the goal? Is it 6 months? Is it a year? What we doing?
Within the next year.
Okay.
I have a lot of things that I'm working
Malika,
on.
where are you located, Malika?
She right across the bridge from you,
I'm home
Nicole.
base.
You where?
In Philadelphia.
In Philly.
You're in Philadelphia? Okay. Oh, girl, you got enough connections to make that happen. But I was going to say, too, reach out to maybe Pamela Grayson from I Dare to Care. She does all kind of programs. I got you. We're connected. I'm going to get some stuff.
That's what I'm looking for.
You already have each other's emails. Y'all already got each other's email.
Look,
so
that's another bridge, man. That's what gets me. I'm corny with it, but that's what gets me hyped. That's really.
So Malika, the question on the screen says, "Can you do custom designs?" I know I can answer and say they're all custom.
Yes, I can do custom design.
Philly trip, Chaz.
Right.
Philly always welcome you. What you want?
That's our guest next week. Who's commenting? He put Philly trip. Yeah, that's Eric Walker, Hyde Apparel. We gonna have him next week.
Mary, I sent you the link to your okay, there it is.
Scrubglam at GoDaddy.com.
I actually sent you the actual link to your messenger.
You know I don't have Messenger, Malika.
Well, it's on this phone.
All right, so I'll add it to the comments, but for now, it's on the screen. Did you have something else that you wanted to show us in regards to your product?
No, that's it that I have for right now. I'm working on scrubs. I'm getting a prototype made, so once that's ready, then I'll start
melanated scrubs too?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
melanated scrubs.
Booming.
So listen, Malika, I don't know if you like taking trips or not, but I will say, I don't know if you've heard of Sisters in Business Expo, but it's huge. She just got I want to say like 5,000, maybe it's more than that, child. Don't get me started lying. But she had a huge store space in the Garden State Mall in like North Jersey. Yes. So it's called the Sister Shop. It's called, I want to say Garden something State in North Jersey. Child, yes, I'm gonna tell you, I'll give y'all information in the back end. But what she's doing is she is having nothing but women of color vendors get spots within this busy mall for the weekend. So if you're going to have scrubs and pins, definitely look at it. It's called the Sister Shops, and you get to have access to that store space. And the way the presentation is and everything, it looks like you have your items in a very high-end store. So definitely take a look at it. I'll send you the information. I don't mind sharing, but I mean, I've heard this is going on. I've heard people that said that they've signed up for it. So I always tell people, if you're going to be part of or have like items that you can sell, definitely look at that as an opportunity to connect.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. This is listen, more than somebody giving you $1 in your hand, the information and the knowledge will last you a lifetime. So please, Malika, please. I know where Nicole is at now, and I know where she was at, and I know where you're at, and I know where Chaz is at. So you can get there. You know what I'm saying? But use these resources. Please, kings and queens.
Of course.
Use them. Use them. Put people to the test. They want to act like they gonna help you. Okay. Yep. Here come a DM. Here come an email. Here comes something. There's 50 million ways to get in touch with people. So we
Right.
are doing it here on Chocolate Crown. We supporting our own. We building bridges with our own. I'm ecstatic, man. I want a life planner right now. I need one so bad, Nicole. This thing,
Go and get you. You
I'm
need
not
one.
gonna lie, Nick. This is from Rutgers.
That's too long.
This is
Y'all, we
18
read
years
this a
old.
long time ago.
Nicole.
This is 18.
Is that a binder? Is that a binder clip?
He said,
I
"Is
know
it a
minimal
binder
is
clip?"
are you? No.
It's
No,
Malika.
no.
It's leather.
Yeah.
What's your IG?
Scrub Glam.
But no, I like this is very powerful. Don't be surprised in the near future. If I try to get some of you back on here to share, so we can see some progress and some updates. And like Nicole said, we don't want to see the same Be Great hoodie in July, Chaz.
You know it. It's already done.
I know. I'm gonna need
I
some
see.
girly colors. You got
Yeah,
girl
we
I
gotta
colors.
get
got
Yeah.
you. I got you. I got
And
you.
you gotta make
I
sure
got
that the
you.
tights is on the same thing. Like Malika saying, she working with the full figure woman or the melanated woman body shape. You gotta make sure that the tights is, we
Hey,
got
Right, because I
curves.
might look small up top,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, I ain't small on the bottom. I
Man,
need
he know
you to get some.
hey, he might be light skinned. That's a brother there. He know how to fix his business.
hey,
That's a
right?
real
But
brother there.
listen, oh
That's
my goodness, yes, please. But I did want to share too before we go.
Is James trying to come on the screen, Malika?
Yes.
Hi,
Say
James.
hi. Hi.
what's up, young
Hey.
fella, young
How you
king.
doing
What's
there, young
happening?
king?
He's trying to show my
Yes.
pen.
But I did want to share, and I am willing to open this up to both men and women. But I'm actually doing well, I don't know if I can do it because listen, the name is
You can do
called
it, Nick.
She Writes.
You can
It's
do it,
called
Nick.
She Writes. So listen, it's called She Writes, but y'all are welcome. Okay.
Look at
Okay,
your face.
Anyway,
yeah, I like that.
but what this is about, it's teaching people how to write their stories in 30 days. I mean, 90 days. So I had to write a book because I had to speak. I was actually like the lead moderator for B Expo some years back, 5 years ago. And so the one woman said like, "Oh, do you have a book?" And I was like, I got a brochure." So I called my dad, who's also an author, and I was like, "Dad, do you think I can write a book in 90 days?" He said, "Absolutely, you can." So I wrote a book, and that was Rock Your Life. And then since then, I've written another book called Tribe as well. So many people have this misconception of what it takes to write your story. So I'm doing a 90-day mastermind to help people learn how to write. You stay on a schedule. We shop for editors. We set up our self-publishing accounts, and you, at the end of the 90 days, have a self-published manuscript that you're able to now sell as your first book. So to help people understand even just my story and what I went through, I'm doing a free webinar on Tuesday. So please feel free to go to theprestigesociety.com so that you can sign up for the free webinar. And then if you attend that free webinar and you want to do the mastermind, I have a special code for you where you can actually get a discount off of the mastermind.
What time is that? Tuesday?
Tuesday at 12 p.m. It's going to be a little lunch and learn, chat and chew. So super excited.
And that's
Awesome.
on the 16th, am I correct?
Yeah, yes, that is.
Got you.
That's the last two guests who keep talking about this book. I guess the world wants Fletcher's book.
I told you they need you on the other side. They need you on the other side.
There's a space.
We need it.
There's a space. And I know, April, it only take 90 days.
90 days. Listen, 90 days, but you gotta write 700 words a day for them 90
Nick,
days. So
I'll
the
be
mastermind.
Nick, in my class. I'll be subtracting words in my. I've written 22 books all in one, Nick.
I believe you.
Nick,
I do.
Please believe
I
him,
already
Nick.
know. I already know it.
Nick, you already know it is a thick book, man. It's at least 250 pages, man.
So all we got to do now is just get you an editor so they can just skinny that
Oh,
thing on down.
they're gonna destroy it. I know they're gonna destroy it because a lot of it, Nick, I wrote on my phone, so my fingers is too big. So
Oh
spelling,
no!
there's spelling mistakes and everything, but it's out
Look,
there.
and Mary, this
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
planner, all Canva.
I,
This is what I was teaching them, all Canva. Even look, even this
the cover,
Canva.
right.
Hey, Nick, you
All right.
don't have to if you don't want to. Can we know a number on that planner? Can we, or should we just go to the website to find out what the
And get
cost is?
shocked.
You can know. $49.99 for this one because it's color.
You said $49.99,
Yeah,
and
just because
the black and white is what?
$39.99.
See, that's
It
that
costs
black
more to
people
print.
stuff for you.
Right,
Nah.
because it
Can I
costs
have
more
one
to print.
rib? Can I just have one rib?
Right.
Like, how much is one rib?
More than I had.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Because Erin
you gotta
Condren,
invest
she
in
out
yourself
here.
at a high level so that you can
That's
be at a
right.
high level.
Yeah,
Erin
because you made
Condren
it.
out here making $60 designers, and this is based. It's really built for the actual entrepreneur. So each is like Boss Life Planner has a different focus. So I got one that has you focusing on your finances for a financial tracker, so that you can keep track of what your operational costs are as well as your personal. I have one that's for you doing social media content, but all of them say, okay, in this area, how you track this focus area, but the other side is what's your business goals? Because we out here doing a lot of busy work and not having productive days. And so what I do is make sure that you have your monthly goals identified so that your weekly goals are rolling up under those monthly goals. So
Yes,
I
I
put a
will
lot
get
of
Jig
thought.
on the show, Dub. Sorry, I'm talking to IG as well. Sorry. I'm doing
No worries.
Twitter. I'm talking to Facebook. Listen, they all hear what's going on this show, man. Listen, listen. Yep. The guests,
So, John, I'm trying to figure out your question.
the first 2 weeks guests have been amazing.
Definitely.
Amazing. It's been enlightening. I've learned
Oh, here we go.
so much. I've learned that the fellas, we gotta start our own because Nick ain't allowing us to enter prestige society, so we gotta create our own society.
But I'm here to help, and I will, and look, and I will. If y'all built right, then we can be a sister organization. If you're built
If y'all
right,
built right, well, you got to help with the
God,
He said,
foundation.
"Hey, yo,
But
but I'll
you
help.
hear the
I'll
if?
be there.
no,
You hear
but
the if? He said,
that's
if you
letting
built
it
right.
be known from the door. Listen, if you want to team up with the sisters, have your
Gotta
stuff
come
in
correct.
order.
Gotta come
That's
correct.
right.
Gotta
Yeah,
That's
come
right.
correct.
And we gonna. I got a whole team that be like,
I
listen.
know how to listen. I know my faults. I know how to get the sisters. I need some help, please.
Right.
You know,
But I want to help Jaja because it looks like the question is, how do you encourage a business owner like myself who has a non-traditional online e-commerce business? So I need a little bit of information. So I need to know, what is the non-traditional business, one, and number two, what is your challenge area that you're having problems with, so that I know how to encourage you with some info.
I do believe it is a product, like a health and wellness product.
Okay.
He does like village speaking. When I say village speaking, like he drops nuggets like a couple times throughout the day to try to help build the community.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of other stuff that I'm because it's like 35 years of knowing him. But
Okay.
this is the current thing, like,
Right.
yeah. So Jai,
Okay.
you writing it in the thing? Like, I know it's health and wellness. I know that.
Okay, if the main niche of the business is health and wellness, then it sounds like you right on target, because everybody is out here with a 15-pound pandemic weight that they done gained. So I guess the question is, are you doing so many different things that it's causing brand confusion? Because if people really don't know what to come to you for specifically, and if they feel like you all over the place, then they probably just don't know what to come to you for. So for instance, if you're dropping knowledge and you're doing your village talks,
Village
I don't
talk,
want to
yeah,
say the
village
word.
whisperer, yeah.
Oh, see, that sounds very grassroots. So I don't necessarily see that in my head as the person that's doing like,
Health and
helping
wellness.
me get my waist snatched. But if you go on some like Dr. like Sadie side, then that very much could be. So it's
Right.
really about you got to find your tribe. You got to make sure the people that are following you are the people that are aligned to what it is that you're putting out there. If you're mixing at all, and I'm just guessing, okay, but if you're mixing any at all your personal Instagram with your business or your branded Instagram, then that means your friends are not your customers. I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the back. Your friends are not your customers because they may not be the ones that are looking for or living the same lifestyle as. So what you really need to do is make sure that you do some organic growth with branded social media so that the people who
Right.
need to buy from you, who look at you as a resource, are the ones that are coming to you. Everything else falls into place. You got to make sure you have funnels on your website, that you're able to capture who's in there, making sure you have an email marketing list so that you can send out everything and capture those names. It is so much work to do. But I will say this, you can do it as long as the message is clear. People understand how you are the source, and then they just know to come to you whenever they need it. People call me the professor for the girl boss. Okay. So they know if they have a question, they need anything, they come to me.
Mhm.
What am I coming to you for? I know I'm going to Malika for my custom prestige pens. I want all of my leaders to have custom pens. I know that.
Okay.
That's who I'm coming to, right? I know I'm gonna need me some Be Great. Now I don't know about the leggings because my husband will be like, "Where are you going?" But the pandemic has had me wear lots of leggings, so we just might have to do it for that. But I'm gonna have me some Be Great leggings and a Be Great sweatshirt, and I'm gonna go to that site at the end of this week, and I swear, Chaz better have that website up.
Right. So wait, we got another question for you, Nicole. How do you market outside the state?
Yeah,
Outside of this, so
yeah,
he's in Pittsburgh, Nick.
yeah. So if you have a brick and mortar, really building your social media presence is going to be huge. E-commerce is a thing. Like, outside of this, I work for a family that just last year made $2.7 billion in revenue. And just last week, one of the owners said to me that 2020 was their best year yet. So that means that 2.7 billion was just the tip of the iceberg for, you know, the pandemic year. So e-commerce is the thing. E-commerce is where it's at. So really think about what that looks like. So it looks so much more than just you putting something on your website. It's about how are you connecting with your audience. And it might seem like you're starting from scratch if you don't already have an online presence, but it's okay. You got to start from scratch somehow. And it's really, showing people your hustle. If you're also in apparel, let's say I don't know if you're making the shirts, but if you're making the shirts, you got to be able to capture that. That should be a reel. I had to do a reel showing my blank planner, snapping, and then boom, showing how my whole planner was filled out and my day was going great. Playing the song, just like magic. So, you have to find creative ways and creating content to get people to really figure out who you are, because people don't buy what you do, they buy who you are first. So definitely build that presence, and I think the rest will follow. I'd love to even see your social media to just kind of do an audit and just give you some
Yeah, like
stuff.
Eric will be on next week as well, Nick. So if you want to check the
Perfect.
show out and watch his
Yep.
apparel, he's a little bit further along than Chaz,
Definitely.
but he's still in the beginning stages as well.
Well, it
So,
sounds like he has a really strong brand, but it
mhm,
could be that he has a really strong brick and mortar brand or local brand where people, have a lot of,
Locally.
word of mouth.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
which is great. But,
yeah.
yeah, definitely he can do it.
Listen, he off to a great start. But if you haven't been filled up in this show, what else can I tell you? You know what I'm saying? We've been we've been scraping the bottom of the pot for you and feeding you, man. If you don't got a notebook out right now and some paper and a pen, what else can I tell you, man? I
Right.
like we out here, people out here giving up game right now, man. So hopefully you
That
soaking it in.
cost that's an investment
Yeah,
otherwise. Like yes. Let's
listen.
Yeah,
be
people
clear.
pay for
That's an
these gems.
investment otherwise.
Yes, people
Yes.
normally pay for this. That's what I be trying. That's why we only do it. Normally it's an hour,
Oh,
but Height
It's
Apparel.
never an hour.
No,
It's
it's
usually an
not.
that's
hour and a
always
half.
the goal.
The goal is
That's
always
the
an hour,
goal.
but it's never an
Yeah.
hour.
Um, But yeah, his presence is picking up. Nick, he has a lot of
Did you see that, Nick?
I
yeah,
did.
yeah.
I'm about to go on right now.
Okay.
Yes, he has a lot of stuff that I think people are very interested in. So I'm hyped for my brother Eric. I'm hyped for my brother Chaz, Malika. I'm hyped for you, sister. You know, for me, this has been eye opening. It's helped me
Oh,
because I've been able to put some things in my calendar that's going to help my business.
You see,
I'm
he
gonna
showed his book again, right, Nick?
I'm gonna try my hardest. I'm gonna try my hardest on Tuesday to link
please
up.
do.
It's my son's birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, I'll record it and I'll send it to you.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, see, we can make that happen. Don't even worry
Yeah,
about it.
you know what I'm
Height,
saying?
height apparel, right? So was that
Yep.
HYGT?
It's a urban.
GHT.
It's urban. It's urban.
Hype
Yep.
apparel. It's a play. It's a play on my short brother.
Here we go again, Nick.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
yeah. But
Yep,
now he has a lot of
I found it.
lot of stuff that's popping up that people are interested in. I mean, I've been seeing his Facebook and art things. People all in Texas wearing Hyde apparel.
Yeah, dope,
Yeah, people in
dope,
California
dope.
wearing Hyde apparel. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it's coming along, Nick. And listen, we're gonna lean on you a little bit and try to
So
hit your
Nick,
email up and see if we can steal some info from you to keep building these brands.
Absolutely.
But we definitely appreciate you, Nicole.
so Nick,
Um,
No
do you have
worries.
Nicole? Do you have
yeah,
a
that's the height of pearl right there in Chaz's.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, I saw it. I followed and everything.
Okay,
I'm already
yeah.
linked. We locked up.
Hey E,
Locked
she's
in.
linked. Come on,
I'm
E, why you
sorry.
gonna hate me, brother? She's linked up with you now on she's linked with you on Instagram. But E, are you short, brother?
Chill,
Are
E.
you short?
Chill,
And it's called Height Apparel.
chill,
I
chill.
love E, man. That's my brother. See, but
Oh,
people need
poor
to hear
baby.
that though. They need to hear a little bit of that because that's what got me to buy it, man. I said, yo, he's funny, man. We told a lot of jokes during our lifetime about Eric's height. And now he got a company based on his height.
Look at
If
that. He
that
said,
ain't
yeah, sleep on
if
me if
you
you want. That's what he said.
if you ain't
That's
a
what he
king,
said.
I don't
Right?
know what a king is, man. We
Amen.
cracked all the jokes in the world. Now he got a company that's gonna be doing $2.2 million soon.
How about
Fact,
that?
Come on, man.
fact.
And who get the
Let's
last
go.
laugh? Eric.
Right.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? So a
That's
little
right.
joke, but we appreciate all you guys for joining us.
Absolutely.
What's
Really?
well, I didn't. I'm not. I'm just saying thank you again. I'm not.
But I know, but Chaz got to go.
Oh, I didn't.
I'm here. I'm here. Whatever you, however long you need me.
Where he
I mean,
gotta
we're
go?
not going to do a million hours, but we need to like learn about your journey and your business and like give you the spotlight.
Oh,
Are
let's
you?
go.
Oh,
Wait, I gotta get my little one. I made them go somewhere because I
Yeah.
knew they was gonna be all on this camera if I didn't get my little.
Nah,
You know,
we
I got a
thank you,
6-year-old
Queen.
too.
We
Queen.
thank you for your time. Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely appreciate the
Thank
nuggets that you
you.
have dropped. If
Thank you.
anybody, feels connected to what Nicole has shared, she has poured some life into your cup. It should be overflowing. If it was half empty, it should be overflowing at this point. If you're an entrepreneur trying to get your grind on, hit her up. Hit the sister
That's
up,
right.
okay?
And my
Y'all
brothers
see
and
she
sisters on
following
here,
folks
I'll
in the
be
moment.
following
blessings,
all of
Queen.
y'all.
Blessings,
Peace,
blessings,
Queen.
Queen.
Right. And
Nick,
So
Malika, I'll
thank
be
you.
catching
We
up with
definitely
you
understand
tomorrow.
the little
Okay.
people.
Thank you.
Nick,
All
from the
right,
bottom of
guys.
my heart, man, sister, I
You
love
already
you,
know,
man.
Flex. I already know. Love you too.
I love
All
you,
right,
man.
guys. Have a
Appreciate you
wonderful
so
night.
much.
Thank you, Mary, so much.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Thanks, sis.
listen. Tell a friend to tell a friend about Chocolate Crown Sunday, 8
Oh, you
p.m.
got that. Oh, you got
Yes,
it.
like our page, follow, all of that.
Thank you, Nick.
Absolutely. All
Thank
right,
you very
guys.
much.
Bye.
So Chaz,
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
what was you about to say?
Now I'm just gonna give you a little bit more of the backdrop of
All
Be
right.
Great.
All right. Let me
So
spotlight you. Let me spotlight you.
got you. So Be Great ultimately started in kind of a the shallow end of the pool. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I said, I was looking in my closet and I had a whole bunch of Nike apparel, and I just wanted to represent something more dear to my heart. You know what I mean? And I tried to come up with a brand, incorporate my mom's name, and she passed away about 10 years ago. Um,
Mm.
so, but nothing really stuck. But I remember something that she used to always tell me, and that something my dad used to always tell me is that, no matter what you do, be great at doing it. And then I thought about, I wrote out just be great, the word. And then, legally I looked into it, and you really can't, this is kind of already taken. So I wanted to play an act, like a kind of a play on words. And I just, shortened it and kind of made it like kind of like an acronym, but not really. But like, so that's how that came about. So when I decided just to make a hoodie, I was just came up with an idea. A friend of mine, she kind of drew it up. And then I went to the mall and just put it on a simple hoodie, like nothing crazy. I didn't put no thought into it. I was just,
Mm-hmm.
it was something personal. So then when I wore it, I would get people be like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And then I wanted to kind of show my sons, oh, I wanted to, because I've been in, my sons are now 24 and 18,
Oh
you know?
wow.
So I was a worker bee from the moment they've been born, just trying to provide, and I got lost in when they became grown. I'm like, well, what do you want to do? What do you, where do you want to go? Like, what do you like? What is your dislikes and likes? And I wanted to be something inspirational because that's what my mom was for. And I always want to kind of live up to her and how she was. Um, so I came up with the Be Great, and I talked to Eric from Height Apparel, and he kind of put me in the direction. Okay, and I just picked his brain for different little tidbits and stuff of that nature, and put out the brand and start trying to have my friend come up with different designs. So every time I come out with a different shirt or a different hoodie, it's going to be a different design. I'm always going to have this kind of as the basic, like the basic logo, but it's going to be something different. So I'm coming out with the spring line, and it's going to have like I'll send you guys the PDFs of it. Um, I just got them, so I apologize, and that's my fault.
Sorry, brother.
It's gonna have
It's
like
okay. No
kids block,
apologies needed.
yeah, but it's gonna have like the kids blocks with like never settle on it. But I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. Then I'm also coming out with the mascot, like that's like an elephant. And that just shows prosperity and stuff of that nature. And my mom used to always love elephants, so I just wanted to kind of incorporate something like that, but just kind of flipping it. But ultimately, I'm starting up a janitorial company here in Pittsburgh. That is really my baby. That's the apparel is something that I love and it's a passion. Um, but the cleaning company is my baby. Um,
Okay.
and just building that brand off the ground as well. Also looking to get into landscaping as well. Just kind of diversifying my portfolio, to be honest with you. Always having my hands in different pots. Just trying to put more, working hard for myself. Like figuring I do a lot for in the career that I'm in right now.
Mhm.
I've been there with my company going on 15 years, but I'm like, okay, if this ends tomorrow, because that's what the pandemic really showed me, like this can all end tomorrow.
Mhm.
What are you doing to build for yourself?
Right.
And that's where, okay, but I also wanted to be important that I just don't put my name on a shirt and say, here, buy Chaz apparel. I
Right.
wanted something inspirational. I wanted something to say, okay, when you wear it, you feel better, you know.
Mhm.
But also it goes back to kind of what I said before of having that feeling of like I can't slack not a day. Every day that I go to work, I gotta be great. I can't be good. I gotta be great just to be good in certain eyes. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
having that pressure, I felt like when I wear my hoodie, I wear it in pride. I'm like, yeah, I am great. And that's how I want people to feel when they put the hoodie on or a t-shirt on or the sweatshirt on or whatever the apparel may be. If they go and hire my cleaning company, I want them to understand they're getting greatness. Because a lot of times in our community, we don't understand the greatness that we see on a daily basis.
Mhm.
We don't understand how great it is to turn on the lights off and on every day as a kid. We don't know what the
Wow.
mom and dad had to do to make that happen. So this is really a reflection of me and my personality, but just trying to build a brand and just kind of put my hands in different pots. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm still trying to learn. And that's what was very important about coming on this platform was just it was very important for me to hear Nicole, for me to see Malika doing what she's doing. You know, and to understand is that there's so many different avenues, and we are actually all in is one when it really breaks down. You know what I mean? So I know, like, I was really nervous about coming on this podcast. Like, really, I was really nervous.
Malika was too. She was like, I don't know what to say.
I mean, because it was, I'm very passionate about it, but it was like the first time that I was like, I had to talk about it. Like, I've been used to just trying to figure out and doing it. And it was like, when you were like, send me some things about you, I was like, I typed up 5 different things. And from the little bit that I gave you was from that 5. And I was like, how do I talk about it? But what I'm thankful for the most is that I have to be able to speak to my brand with confidence, to exude what I'm trying and the mission that I'm trying to do. You know, so to hear the steps that I needed to take to build my brand, whether, you know, it's insane how nervous I was. Like, I had a birthday party I was at, and I was like 7:45 sound check, because I had to, like, because I'm very punctual. It was just, Sunday was shot because I was just nervous. Like, oh my God, like, I gotta be right. I gotta say everything correctly. What if I say something wrong? What if I give the wrong email address? I mean, it was just the whole gamut of stuff. But overall, my brand is just looking to inspire people, inspire anyone, kings, queens, anybody that realize somehow hard it is to just survive in the day. So you can wear your greatness. That's why I say show your greatness. You know, try to exemplify that in the day. And I'm looking to take, and if this brand blows up, I'm looking to definitely give back to the community. And Fletch, you know, from the neighborhoods we grew up in, it's just, you see people, and you're just like, wow.
Go ahead.
We're not supposed to make it. We're not.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they say, man. But we all be great, man. Never settle, man. So that thing it's going to resonate, brother. And like she said, man, as you go along this journey and you start to build, you know how it is. Like back when we used to rap on the spot. If you wanted to get heard, you have your tape on you, so that if somebody says, well, I could pop it in, or you got your CD on you. So as you building it, man, I mean, I would have them in my trunk. I have them everywhere I'm going to be, so just in case.
That's been the plan. It's like, you know, I was torn in between, do I order in bulk and have, or order per order, you know, and just kind of make and do it that way. And shout out once again to Eric. I know he's going to be on next week, but he kind of was like, nah, go in bulk because it forces you to sell it. You know what I mean?
It makes you run.
It makes you get out there.
You
and
second guess yourself with doing it per order, and you end up from an entrepreneur perspective spending more money,
right,
and not really earning what your potential is, because you second guessing, is this gonna work? Is it not gonna work? Okay, I'm gonna buy 5. All right, maybe no, I'll get 1. Make your decision and make it roll.
What I had to realize to myself, and the biggest adjustment was figuring out an F. And this is what I mean by that is I either have to have fear or I have to have faith. Right. And I chose to have more faith that, okay, listen, I'm gonna get it from the mud, and it's gonna be difficult. I went into it knowing that I would get a lot of no's, you know, or I don't got it right now, you know, but it was like, no, just keep being persistent. For every no you may hear 3 yeses.
How about that?
And I had to put more faith in not only my talents in me, but I also had to put faith in my people. Like they're going to cop this from me. They're going to come and grab it and support. And to be honest with you, even with my first shipment, I got sold out in like 3 days.
See, look at that.
Like 3 days, and I was like, and then I'm getting orders, and I'm sitting back and I'm thinking to myself like, wow, because I read like a crazy quote a couple years ago, and it was like your fear of failure has to be larger than your I'm sorry, it says your desire to succeed has to be greater than your fear of failure. You know, so once I got that, it was like, well, you got to pick a F, you know, and
Right.
I was scared to jump into the apparel, the business, the cleaning business, everything. Cause I'm a worker bee at heart, to be honest
Gotta
with you.
just love the win, brother. Love the win. Hate to
Man,
lose, but love the win. Love
you
it,
know what?
man.
Hey, bro, I'm actually enjoying the process.
And that's important.
Yes.
You
We
know,
talked to yes.
I'm enjoying the wins, but I'm also enjoying the failures because I also believe in life that you learn more from your defeats. You know, from the time that you had to pick yourself up, you learned a lot more than maybe the time you didn't. So every lesson that I learned, like this was a lesson. Okay, so if somebody asked you about your company on the spot, what can you say?
Right.
Fletch, you said it best. Like when we was trying to get on rapping, if somebody was like spit, you had to spit.
Right on, yeah.
No question. It wasn't, oh, let me go to my book, let me think about it. So it was the very first time that somebody provoked thought within my company besides the initial spark of the company. And it was like to be able to sit back and be like, I can watch this video, I can go back and study this podcast and go, because I'm a perfectionist. So it's like, nah, I want to return on Chocolate Crown because I'm like, I gotta, because that first time you was lunching. And I won't even say lunching. I'm gonna say it was just
you were learning.
Fully prepared. It was
you were
learning.
launching. So instead of lunching, you were launching, and you're launching into a new space that is not comfortable, which we all have been there. So it's like recognize it and embrace the lesson that comes with that. Like, okay, I'm launching. This is my first interview. You're always gonna remember your first one.
Oh man,
about be great, man. And a lot of people don't get the jewels that you like. I love you, bro, from the bottom of my heart.
Amen. I love you too, bro.
Ain't no doubt about it, man. We used to be in your basement, and your mom, she loved me like I was her own.
The crew.
Why? You gonna look back? Yeah, you gonna listen. You gonna look back and say that was my first one. And then when you sold your first hoodie, you should have patted yourself on the back. When you sold your 10th hoodie, you should have patted yourself on the other side, because these are accomplishments on that journey. Because you don't know when your championship is.
Right.
You don't know when the bottle popping come. The bottle popping now. Because you started it. You came up with a name. You came up with a slogan. You're trying to learn how to push the company forward, man. Pat yourself on the back now. Malika, you do the same thing. It started in January during the pandemic. You know how hard that is? Man, I know. My company over. I know the restaurant is so I understand it, man.
Hey, man, listen.
I understand it. So both of you guys, man, you at the beginning stages. I'm gonna give you a word. You at the rudimentary stage, but that don't mean that this ain't a marathon. And on that marathon, there is points that you really, really, really need to congratulate yourself, because you might not get it from the outside. Somebody might buy 15 hoodies and never say thank you, and never say, "Oh, Be Great is dope. Malika's stuff is dope." They may never say that, but you have to say it to yourself based on the work you doing. Based on the time you putting in.
That's why I'm trying to enjoy the process, bro. Like I'm really trying to enjoy the work, because whether you say thank you or not, the work that I know, the work that I know that I put into it, like soon as I hand it to you, it's already a thank you, because I know what I had to do. They see it from like when I got my sample, bro, like it got sent to me, and I'm in tears. Once again, on some light skin stuff, I can't cry, right? So I'm like, but I'm so happy that I'm looking at something that was a thought, and now I'm able to hold it. You know what I mean? And it was like, so when I placed my first order, I was nervous when I got that first shipment in. When I got that first sale, like I held on to the first sale money just because I was afraid that somebody was gonna call, like, give me I want a refund. I was like, I ain't want no problems with that. So it was just, I'm enjoying the bumps, the
Yes,
bruises, the
the
lumps,
starting of a company.
Right.
Yep.
like the whole thing. Because I feel like then I can sit back when those things happen, those great things happen. I can sit back and say, you know what? When I see you guys platform get to where it's going to be, it's kind of be like, you know what? They the one that gave me the first whoosh, get it together. You know what I mean? And just the opportunity to speak. You know what I mean? The opportunity to be on with Malika and seeing what she's doing and knowing that she has the same fears I have. I'm like, I feel like I feel
Exactly.
like a family now. Like I ain't the only one out here bugging today.
Hey,
Like
never, ever, 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 ever. Nicole was like y'all. Nicole was just like both of y'all, super nervous. I had so many conversations with that queen. Fletch, I'm trying it out. So, what y'all doing? Just keep going. There's
I
going to be
appreciate it.
walls in your way, you run them over.
I
There's going to
appreciate
be
it.
speed bumps in your way, go around them, go through them, go over them. But just keep going because it's so important. Because there are young people watching both of y'all.
Hey
Watching
man.
both of y'all. I heard young man just came in the screen. I know your boys. They're watching. So if you can do it, you already empowered it in them that they could do it.
Hey
They
man,
watching you.
that's what it's all for. That's why it's like it's all inspirational. You know, it's crazy. Like real quick with a story, and I gotta go because I gotta pick up my son from work. I apologize.
No
Um,
problem. No problem. I just didn't want you to, be one child left behind.
no, I understand. When I was coaching football, right? I was up there coaching for the Flashes, there, Fletch. So you know how that go, right? So I'm up there coaching, and then like around my 5th year coaching, at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm gonna tell every kid I love them at the end of every practice, right? And I did that like, and it just became normal. So I coached like maybe 4 more years after that, right? And moved on with life. That was that, right? So last week, this is real talk. Last week, walking the convenience store, see like 4 young dudes in there. I just say, hey, how you doing, brothers? And then go to the counter. And I see the young men, they come back out. I come back out. They kind of on the side of the building. And you see they about to do some smoke. You know how they do. How they do. And the one guy was like, "Nah, chill out. That's Coach Chaz." And I look over now. I'm like, he take his mask off. I'm like, oh, talking to him. And he said, "Hey, Coach, I wanted to thank you." I said, "For what?" He said, "Well, I got a little son now, and you was the first dude I heard, the first man I ever heard say I love you."
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
Like,
Powerful.
and what that did, and it was like, man, you never know what life you can touch.
Mm-hmm. Powerful.
So it was like it messed me up. Like I was like, wow, like
You cried, right?
this kid is a grown man now.
Come
Like,
on, Chaz. You were supposed to stick with it. We don't cry, man.
man,
You cry.
man, listen. I
Did you
was
cry?
like, listen.
It's a good thing. Don't.
I went here.
You
I went
cried,
here.
man.
I went here with it.
That's
But no,
okay.
the point was that it made me think about like it led me back to my be great. It led me back to that, like, nah, man, keep pushing, because there was a lot of days that I was like, it ain't really worth it to me. You know what I mean? Like and I felt like it had to be worth it. It had to be worth the sacrifice. It had to be worth the pain. It had to be worth whatever hard, like any kind of bumps and bruises and the hurdles you're gonna have to go through. It's gonna have to be worth it. So right before I joined in on the meeting, right? Like, so it was like join on Facebook, and I looked at the button for about 3 minutes, like, and I just said, whatever this is going to be, this is going to be. I'm gonna leave it up to my faith. I'm gonna be transparent in what I'm doing currently, what I aspire to do, and even the things that I don't know yet. I didn't know what questions you guys had. I was hoping you guys was like, talk about your business. I was like, oh, don't ask that. And you was like, talk about your business. I was like, that's great. But
Listen,
through this whole process, I was just like, nah, like, now you really gotta be able to speak to this. Like, for real. Like, you have to be able to speak to this and say, This is why I'm doing this.
Right.
You know, now,
Right.
It was
I hope
calculated.
So
what I
embrace your
said.
launch. Embrace your launch. One of the
trying.
hashtags that I have in regards to working with entrepreneurs in my academy that I have is divorce. My hashtag is daily divorce of self.
Right.
And that means like everything that you just said, like whatever your passion is, whoever it is that needs you on the other side, they are depending on you to not have that second guess energy. So like
Right.
whatever that is, you got to be like, okay, nope, I'm not second guessing this. I am committed. So I'm going to daily divorce all of the negative thinking, all of the doubting, and whatever it is that's getting in the way of me focusing into my passion so that I can make it happen.
Amen.
And it's all about a mindset shift.
I appreciate it. Before I dip out, I definitely want to thank my bro Fletch. I love you, man. Like, listen, we could do a whole podcast on like that, just whatever, like how
The love y'all got.
I respect this
Bonnie
man.
put it in dungeons, boy.
Hey, YN, you know what I mean?
YN. That's
Listen,
why I still wear a Yankees hat to this day, man.
I always keep one.
That was our gang, Mary. We had a little gang. While everybody else was cripping and being bloods, we was YN. We had our own little. We wasn't hood terrorists. We was little kids trying to find our way.
We was lost
trying
souls trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Man.
Well, but Mary, like y'all did a great job.
We tried.
And we still trying.
But Mary,
y'all doing. Y'all not trying. Y'all doing.
Right, Mary. I want to thank you, Queen, for the opportunity. Malika, I want to salute you on your business, and I'm definitely gonna put your word out there. And I hope everybody have a blessed evening, a blessed, continued weekend. Thank you for giving me heartburn.
We're just trying to make you launch. We just want you to launch.
I'm gonna definitely be pumping y'all out there and be looking forward to Be Great Apparel and other things.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for your time and your dedication to what you do. Thank you so much.
Blessings, queens, kings.
So what's happening, Mary? This was a 2-hour show.
For Chocolate Crown. We had some deep entrepreneurs. We did some deep nuggets.
I'm sweating.
Well, you could have put the fan on wherever you are, No,
you have to sit still.
And look at James. Yay!
I know, right?
No, listen. This was powerful. This was enlightening. I'm happy that I am the co-host and I was still able to learn as much as I did, but I knew I would because I knew the growth in especially Nicole and the other two, Malika and Chaz, were brought on to more be a
highlight
student
and push them
to learn. So that they know where they're at right now. There's somewhere they could shoot for. So listen, Chocolate Crown, this was powerful.
Yes.
Every Sunday, 8 p.m. Please tell a friend and tell 2 friends.
And like and follow our page, Chocolate Crown Podcast.
Yes, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Just come check us out, man, because we're gonna always have nuggets for you, man. We know a lot of people, man, and we're gonna try to bring some of these people up here to basically break down what it is that they do and how they trying to help move the community forward. And Malika, I'm gonna definitely reach out to some people and try to get you in front of some young people to share your gift and your talent with some people, because that's the only way we're gonna make this work, man. When our people bring something, if I could reach really far, if I could reach around the corner and share your name, your email address, your Facebook, Instagram, like that's priceless. It might bring you some clients in the future. So that's what we are willing to do. I just want to thank everybody. Mary, I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you. We highlight everybody else during this show, but like always, man, I just want to thank you, because without you, there's no Chocolate Crown, because without the king, there's no queen. So I just want to thank you again, and just thank everybody, all the comments, everybody checking us out. Really
and it was the comments were full. We thank everybody who stayed with the conversation from the beginning through now, and people are saying they grabbed some nuggets and it was powerful. So we just really thank you. And those who catch us on the replay, we thank you also, because we know it's power in the replay. So if you catch us on the replay, just hit #replay and let us know what the nuggets are that you grabbed from that, and we'll go from that. Look at this comment, Fletch. The energy is always infectious.
That's amazing. I was getting an email from somebody who was watching Chocolate Crown, so that's what made me look down. So I'm sorry.
No problem.
But yeah, if it's infectious, come on back, man. Come on back next Sunday.
He's usually here.
Yeah.
He be going between, I'm sure, 1 or 2 different podcasts that's in the community.
Listen, like my
we
guy
appreciate
Jay-Z used to say, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. So we appreciate it. We thank you. We want you to be safe. If you got a company and you want to be spotlighted, holla at us. Please hit us in the DMs, emails, something, man, so we can get you on the show, so we can spotlight you and what you do for our people in our communities. So again, thank you. And until next Sunday, peace, kings and queens.
Peace out. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Malika.
Thank you
for allowing me on here.
Absolutely. You have any closing thoughts you want to say to the people before I hit the end broadcast?
Stay motivated, and everybody has a chance.
Awesome.
Stay motivated.
Awesome.
You got a chance. I'm with it.
Yes.
Thank you, Malika.
Thank you
so much. And thank you for your time too with